slave master, you know what I mean? You treat me like you was Satan.
Right.
You know what I mean? And now you're gonna treat me as if you got the word of God, handed me the word of God. Because this was the white man that handed me Christianity.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Well, I mean,
So
basically,
you have to look at me like, you have to look at it like that.
yeah, I mean, you have to look at it like that, because when you look at the conquistadors, when they went into South America, the Aztecs and the Incas, they was keeping the laws. They was keeping the laws. They was keeping the cleanly laws. They stayed away from their women when they were on a menstrual cycle. They was not eating a pork, pig, which was not an indigenous animal. They wasn't eating what do you call it, the sea-dwelling fish, like crab, shrimp. They wasn't doing that. They wasn't eating that. They respected the land. When they cut down the tree, they didn't cut all the trees down. You know, the scriptures tell you when this man was going to be ruling, he's going to take everything off the tree. We went to the book of Obadiah. You know what I mean? I mean, we could get that. So the first thing they did when they came over was they brought the Bible and they rearranged it. You see what I'm saying? It was always the Bible. It had always been there. Right. But what they did was they flipped it upside down. Okay? Yeah, give me Psalms 49:11. Psalms 49:11. They flipped everything upside down, brother. So when they did that and they came to us, they put themselves as the Israelites. You see what I'm saying? When we was the Israelites all along. And so they came to us with something new, saying, hey, we got guns, we got alcohol, we got these things to trade with you. But we actually had the real good commodities. We had sugar, we had soil, we knew agriculture, we knew how to plant rice, corn, all that stuff. They had to come to us to get that stuff. The only thing they could trade with us was the alcohol, the guns, and all of that. You know, what's that?
Swords.
Yeah, hold this one. We're gonna get this one first. Read that, Psalms 49:11. So what you're saying is, yes, they always brought the Bible, but that was during the time in the Renaissance period. The Renaissance period, taking you through a little history, from the 1100s to the 1300s was the Renaissance period. You see this picture of Christ right there? That's when they had a thing called iconoclasm. That's when they started whitewashing all the images of the true people of the Bible. Okay, that's why when you look at, you get some old books, you go to arts and crafts and the Barnes and Nobles, and you look at some of the artifacts in the art books, the illustrations, and you see they have black tipped fingers, or they had halos around their hair when really their hair was like woolly. All they did was just painting it down. Yeah, you know, you can look at the tips of their nose, you can look at their chin, you can look at their necks. It's dark. All they did was whitewash all that. Okay, and they still doing it. We got images showing you that the people that were in the catacombs were black people, and the people who were in the catacombs, that was a place for the poor, and the poor were the ones who were dying in the Colosseum. Those were the Christians. Okay, so the real Christians in the Roman Colosseum was Israelites. They were black Israelites. All right, so people can understand, but they were all black Israelites. Okay, read that.
Psalms chapter 49 verse 11. Their inward thought is that their houses shall continue forever, and their dwelling places to all generations, that they called their lands after their own names.
Right, so when they went into South America, they was changing the names. The Incas and the Mayans had names for that place, just like here the American Indians. This wasn't the name America. America comes from a white man, Italian man. His name was Amerigo Vespucci. He came in, he was a banker, rich banker. He financed all of the killing, the destruction of the American Indians. From the East Coast all the way to the West Coast. He slaughtered them and then took over their names. Took over their land and named it by his name. Okay, read that again? It was called, I can get that for you. It was called, give me 2nd Ezra 13:48. I'll show you what it was called.
Their inward thought is that their houses shall continue forever,
right,
and their dwelling places to all generations.
Right, if you go over there in the Florida, they got the Keys, the Florida Keys. The American Indians, they were building mansions before the white man even came to America. All those mansions with lakes in front of it, those were all built by American Indians prior to us even getting to America. And they went in and they took over those houses and they named the lands after their name. See, that's all part of the Bible. Okay, read this. Let me show you what America was called before it was called America. 2nd Ezra 13:48.
2nd Ezra 13, verse 48. But those that be left behind of the people are they that are found within my borders. Now, when he destroyed the multitude of the nations that are gathered together, he shall defend his people that remain. And then shall he show them great wonders.
2nd Ezra 13:48.
Oh, okay. 1340. Those of the 10 tribes which were carried away prisoners.
Notice the 10 tribes. We got the 3 main tribes at the top: Judah, Benjamin, and Levi, which condensed into the southern kingdom. That was 1. Okay? From that on down, really Ephraim should be what Simeon is. Ephraim was the head of the 10 tribes. Okay? And the 10 tribes is what this brother's reading about right now, how they got to the Americas. Because that's how they got here, by ship. Come on.
Those are the 10 tribes which were carried away prisoners out of their own land. In the time of Hosea the king.
Hosea the king, come on.
Whose Solomon, the king of Assyria, led away captives, and he carried them over the waters. And so came they into another land.
So they came to another land and they went through the waters of the Euphrates around the bottom of Africa into the Americas. Come on.
But they took this counsel among themselves that they would leave the multitude of the heathen.
So they wanted to get away from the heathens because Israel's being corrupted at that time. They couldn't keep the Most High's law. This is just a remnant of Israel that left. A lot of just like this is the remnant right here. You know, a lot of brothers don't believe that they're Israel. They're going to die when the destruction comes. Okay? The remnant that believe will be saved. Okay? What?
And go forth into a further country where never mankind dwelt.
That's America. This place was like the Garden of Eden here. Come on.
That they might there keep their statutes which they never kept in their own land.
That's the Aztecs, the Incas, the Mayans, the American Indians, the Seminole Indians. They kept the laws of the Most High. Come on.
And they entered into Euphrates by the narrow passage of the river.
Come on.
For the Most High then showed signs for them and held still the flood till they were passed over.
Right. If you go to the bottom of Africa, Cape Cod, go to the bottom of Africa, those waters are real rough, man. For the Most High held still those waters so they can pass by. All right. If you talk to any sailor, any captain, they'll tell you how rough those waters are. Come on.
For though the country there was a great way to go, namely of a year and a half.
See that? So it took about a year and a half for them to get to America first and foremost. Come on.
And the same region is called Assyria.
So what is America called again?
Assyria.
Again?
Assyria.
That's what America was called before. Or Sarah. So you can actually Google that and look it up. It might even tell you that's America. That was the real name of America, and it's all in the scriptures. Sarah. Arsareth. Sarah. You can Google it. You know, Wikipedia. Sarah.
How you pronounce it again?
Show it to him, Arsareth. Give me Daniel 7:25. So we come out to show our people, the Negroes, Latinos, and American Indians, who they are according to the Bible. And this is a great day today. This is actually Purim. We're at the end of Purim right now. All right, the day that Esther and Mordecai came against Haman in the book of Esther, when Haman put out a decree to kill all the Israelites. All right, so Esther and Mordecai received that gift, that knowledge from the Most High to talk to Xerxes, remove that decree for us to still be here. Then we're supposed to fast and all that stuff on this day. All right, and then celebrate at the end of the day. So let's go back to the scriptures. Daniel 7:25.
Daniel chapter 7 verse 25. And he shall speak great words against the Most High.
Right, and they're doing that now with the laws, their constitution. All right, the Articles of Confederation prior to that. All right, they speak great laws, great words. They saying that we're not even a full man yet. They ain't even really changed that law. We still what, 1/4 of a man, 3/4? Yeah, we ain't even a man in their constitution. So they came out with what is that?
Homosexual, like
no, 14. What's that? I can't think of the name. Amendment 14. The 14th Amendment. Yeah, I mean, they came out, the due process and all that stuff. That's really for us. So we could go into a courtroom and be defended properly, but it's still not working for us. You know what I mean? You look at OJ, you look at all these Oscar Grant, all the people get, you know, they walk away free, right? Read that. read Psalms 50 and 16?
Yeah, and he shall speak great words against the Most High, and shall wear out the saints of the Most High.
So who are the saints? The saints are us. When you read the scriptures now, the world tells you that the saints, anybody that does good over there in Rome, go out and they go into churches, they go to the homeless and all that. That's what they call the saints. But when you read the Bible answers the Bible. Okay? The Bible breaks down Bible. The way you see us going back and forth, that's a formula that was left behind by the prophet Isaiah. He said, for precept shall be upon precept, line upon line, here a little, there a little, with stammering lips and another tongue you'll speak to these people. So that's what we're doing right now. Okay? Precept upon precept, line upon line. What?
And think to change times and laws.
Did we just change the time last week? We changed the times and he changed the law. You know America's the only country that do that, change times. They have the daylight savings times on the east coast and the west coast of America. Any other country don't do it. We're the only country that do it. Arizona is neutral. They go back and forth. Come on.
And they shall be given into his hand until the time and times and the dividing of time.
Right, and so that's where we are. Because of that, we're right here serving out our judgment. The reason why we're here in America is we're serving out our judgment because of what our forefathers did. It's the only reason why we're here in America. Had our forefathers not broke the laws, we'd still be in Jerusalem right now. Right now. The reason why our brothers are killing each other is because their forefathers, our forefathers, broke the laws and they're just following the judgment until they wake up out of sleep. You know, give me that Romans 13:11. Read that out.
This is Psalms 50, verse 16.
Now, I spoke about how they treat us when we go to court, right? Now, let me show you what the Most High said. Go ahead.
But unto the wicked, the Most High said, what hast thou to do to declare my statute?
Right.
Or that thou should have take my covenant in thy mouth?
So when you go to court, they have you swear on the Bible, right? Read that again.
What hast thou do to declare my statute, or that thou shouldst should take my covenant in thy mouth?
Right. Come on.
Seeing thou hateth instruction.
This man hates instruction. That's why you see homosexuality being passed. That's why you see kids disrespecting their parents. That's why you see women calling the police on their husband who didn't do nothing to them. All right? Sending them to jail. Let me ask you this, brother, to see how you're thinking right now. On the birth certificate, who's the informant on the birth certificate? Who signs on it? Who signs their signature on the birth certificate? It's the woman. She's the informant. You look at a birth certificate, it'll say informant of the state. The woman. So when the police come, who is the police going to go to first? You or her? They're going to go right to the informant. Because that was the setup from the beginning. Okay? Give me Genesis 3 and 17. Hold that what you got. What you holding? Are you still? Yeah, stay right there. That was the beginning. So everything that Adam failed to do, we're paying for it now, man. Everything. I think that's it.
Genesis 3.
17.
And unto Adam he said, because thou hast hearkened unto the voice of thy wife.
So Adam listened to who? His wife. Come on.
And hast eaten of the tree of which I commanded thee, saying, thou shalt not eat of it.
The Most High told Adam, you're over your wife. Do not eat of it. So what did that woman do? She told him, hey baby, come on. Her emotions got involved. His emotions got involved. Are you married, bro? Okay, if you had a woman, you got a woman? Okay. If it's your day to study, and it's Valentine's Day, and you ain't did nothing for all day, and she like, baby, can you take me out for Valentine's Day? And you like, baby, I'm studying. What's she gonna do? She gonna get mad at you, right? She was like, come on, baby. This is once you never take me nowhere. Like Janet Jackson said, what have you done for me lately? You know what I mean? Same thing. The emotions got involved. Now you like, dang, I better do this to make her happy, right? Read that again from the top.
And unto Adam he said, because thou hast hearkened unto the voice of thy wife, and hast eaten of the tree of which I commanded thee, saying, Thou shalt not eat of it.
Right?
Cursed is the ground for thy sake.
See that? Go ahead.
In sorrow shalt thou eat of it.
So we paying for that right now, based on what our woman did to us. Based on us not having the balls to tell her no. The Most High said. You know what I mean? The Most High said no. You do that to a woman, you'll probably lose your woman. Unless she's in the truth. If she's not in the truth, you're going to lose your woman. Just say bye-bye. Just kiss her goodbye, man. You know what I mean? As soon as you grow some, you know, what they call it, huevos in Spanish. Cajones, right. That's a done deal. Come on.
In sorrow thou shalt eat of it all of the days of thy life.
Right. And that's what's going on now. Because of Adam, we all fall to sin. We all fell to sin. Go ahead and read that. Let's go back to the courts.
Seeing thou hateth instruction, and castest my words behind thee. When thou sawest a thief, then thou consent with him.
Right, didn't they do that with OJ? Right? Didn't they do that with Mark Furman? He was a thief, right? Mark Furman was a thief. They consented with him, right? Come on.
And has been partakers with adulterers.
Right, come on.
Thou givest thy mouth to evil, and thy tongue frame of deceit.
Right. Tongue framing deceit, meaning you ain't telling the truth. You know this man didn't do no ill will, but you give him 10 years of life. Right?
Thou sittest and speakest against thy brother.
Now why does it say, thou sittest and speakest against thy brother? Give me Romans 9:13. Read that again.
Thou sittest and speakest against thy brother.
Right.
Thou slander thy own mother's son.
Thou slander thy own mother's son. So, didn't Michael Jackson come out with a song called Ebony and Ivory? Remember that? Ebony and Ivory, remember that? Black man and white man are in America. We was here before all the other people. Yeah. So, when you look at football, black and white. You don't see Chinese out there. When you see basketball, you see black and white. You might have one, Yao Ming. He's one of the rare token. You know what I'm saying? You look at baseball, black and white, and Latino. Okay? Basically black. Okay? So that's what he said, that's what he meant. Thou slanderest thy own mother's son. Where's that son at? Jacob and Esau. See that? That's what it boils down to. Give me 2nd Ezra 6 and 9. Read that.
Romans 9 and 13. As it is written, Jacob have I loved.
So the Most High loves, he loves Jacob. Jacob is the forefathers of the 12 tribes of Israel, which is you Negroes, you Latinos, and American Indians. That's who Jacob is. Come on.
Esau have I hated.
So the Most High hates. He said, Esau, I hate him. Jacob, I love. Come on.
What shall we say then? Is there unrighteousness with the Most High?
Right, a lot of people hear this and be like, man, one thing about us, when brothers and sisters come and face the Israelites, they need to just close their eyes, man. Seriously, they need to just close their eyes and just listen, because it's the words of the Most High. It ain't us. Read that again.
What shall we say then? Is there unrighteousness with the Most High? God forbid. For he saith to Moses, I will have mercy on whom I will have mercy.
How can you argue with that? So when the Most High, when we did wrong to the Most High, we broke all the laws, statutes, and commandments. Us Negroes, us black people, us African Americans, as the name keeps changing every 20 years. When we broke those laws as Israelites, now we're paying the judgment. That's why I said we're paying the judgment here. You see? Read that. The Most High does what he wants. We don't have a choice. If he want to bring a storm, he'll bring a storm. If he want to make you broke like the most of us Negroes are, scheming, barely making it, from one paycheck to the next paycheck, that's what's going on. The Most High deemed it. You know what I'm saying? You ever notice, not just one of us are broke, all of us are broke? And, you know what I'm saying? I mean, together, we probably don't even have $50,000 in our pockets. We all broke. right? But that's what the Most High deems. He'll have mercy on whom he has mercy on. On top of all of that, he still protects us. He still let us eat. You know what I'm saying? He still clothes us. You know, in hunger, in nakedness, in want of all things, right? Come on.
This is 2nd Ezra 6, verse 9. For Esau is the end of the world.
So that's Esau. How is Esau going to be the end of the world when he died 3,000 years ago? You know what I'm saying? That means he got descendants. Esau's the end of the world. He got descendants, and they're ruling the earth right now. Come on.
For Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that follows.
Right. We know Jacob died back in before he went to before his sons went into Egypt. Jacob been dead, but his sons are still living. You see what I mean? We are the sons. Read that again.
For Esau is the end of the world.
So we know the world is coming to an end. Come on. Give me Matthew 5
and Jacob is the beginning of it that follows.
So Jacob is the beginning of it that follows. And give me Daniel 7 and 18. So the Most High is telling us something here. If we don't wake up, we're going to all die in Esau's world at the end of it. If we don't wake up. But if we wake up, we'll be the beginning of the new world. And that's why we come out here to tell our people, hey, wake up, man, the time is near for us to start the new world. You see what I'm saying? Let me show you what the Bible says about the Bible.
Matthew 5 and 17. Think not that I have come to destroy the law or the prophets. I am come not to destroy, but to fulfill. For verily I say unto you, till heaven and earth pass, one jot.
Wait a minute, he said, until heaven and earth pass. The brother just read, Esau is the end of the world. I mean, the laws are still here. He said, the heaven and earth pass. Heaven and earth is still here. Heavens and earth, right? Esau's world is still at the end. He's still ruling the world. Come on.
Or, sorry, one jot or one tittle shall in no wise pass from the law, till all be fulfilled.
Till all be fulfilled. Till all be fulfilled. So all these brothers is waking up. They got to keep the commandments, and they will wake up, and all things will be fulfilled. That's why we believe on his prophecies by Hashem HaMashiach Yahushua. He came to die for the 12 tribes of Israel, first and foremost, and all other nations got to follow that, which are going to be led into captivity. Right, just like we was led into captivity, right? When we went into captivity, did the so-called white man help us pick cotton? Did he help us pick peas? No, but when he took that interest, that all that stuff, and he took it down to the stores, he said, man, I picked all this corn. I picked this flour, I picked all this. No, that was his slaves. That was his house. You know what I'm saying? We're going to be the same way. Give me Zechariah 11 and 5. Read that.
Daniel 7, verse 27. And the kingdom...
7 and 18.
Oh, 7 and 18.
Actually, you can go right there. That's a good one. Go ahead. Right. 27.
And the kingdom and the dominion and the greatness of the kingdom under the whole heavens shall be given to the people of the saints of the Most High.
See that? So all the stuff that you see, it's going to be ours. Everything. If we keep the commandments, if we follow his ways, and it's not grievous. Come on.
Of the saints of the Most High, whose kingdom is an everlasting kingdom.
Is a what?
Is an everlasting kingdom.
Is a what?
Is an everlasting kingdom.
Shiva Mashiach Yahushua, go ahead.
And all dominion shall serve and obey him.
All dominions shall serve and obey him. Mashiach Yahushua. All right? So we're going to go into that. Yeah, give me that. 7 and 18.
This is Daniel 7, verse 18.
So fire that I.
But the saints of the Most High shall take the kingdom.
Shall do what?
Shall take the kingdom.
How are we going to take the kingdom?
Shall take the kingdom.
How are we going to take the kingdom?
Take the kingdom.
By keeping the commandments.
Take the kingdom.
That's how. Go ahead.
Take the kingdom and possess the kingdom forever, ever, even forever.
Right. Give me Isaiah 60 and 12. So, I mean, man, you see me just bringing scriptures out? Really, I'm showing you over and over what the Most High says. This stuff is going to happen. And it don't matter if you read the whole chapter, you're going to still see the same thing. You know what I mean? In every book, the Most High repeats itself. But, you know, you see why he's repeating it? When we came over here in captivity, When they brought us over here, they said, don't read, don't read. Psst, you read, I'm going to kill you. That's what they did. Don't read, right? Repeat this, though. Repeat this. Jesus Christ is a white man. Repeat it.
John 3:16.
He gonna go, Jesus Christ is a white man. He gonna go to there, Jesus Christ is a white man. You know? That brainwashing, man. And most people, they come over here, they don't know no scriptures in the book, but they'll come over and say, John 3:16. So Christ loved the whole world, he gave his only begotten son. Why do they know that? Because on the TV, it's all they push, John 3:16. They don't know it, no other scriptures, right? They don't even know what he meant when he said that. When you read the verse above it and the verse below it, it says something totally different. You know what I'm saying? And that's why we have to read the Bible. We have to get the understanding of what the Most High is telling us. And he's actually talking to a people. You see what I'm saying? Read that.
This is Isaiah 60 verse 12. For the nations and the kingdoms that will not serve thee shall perish.
Same chapter.
Yea, those nations shall be utterly wasted.
Those nations are going to be what?
Utterly wasted.
All right, go ahead.
The glory of Lebanon shall come unto thee, and the fir tree, and the pine tree, and the box together to beautify the place of my sanctuary.
Is what?
Its sanctuary.
That's us. Come on.
And I will make the place of my feet glorious. Thy sons also of them that afflict thee shall come binding unto thee, and all that despise thee shall bow themselves down at thy soles of thy feet.
Now what is that talking about? This is all the kings, son with Prince Charles and all those guys. The Most High gonna make them come bow down at our feet when he raises us up.
Anybody in the White House?
Anybody, the presidents, the kings,
the whole
all of that.
nation.
Right.
All those damn white people, all those damn heathens, they gonna bow down before our people.
Why? Because they scorn us. When they look at us as the scum of the earth. And the Most High does that for a reason. He wants to make us the underdog. That's why you see us half crazy walking down the street talking to ourselves. You know what I'm saying? The Most High's doing that on purpose. He wants people to look at us like we're crazy. So when you see one, you see all of us. That's what they say. You know? Well, you see brothers straightening up when they see another brother over there just to entertain the white person. I ain't like that. You know what I'm saying? They ain't just as bad. You know what I'm saying? Read that.
This is thy sons also that afflict thee shall come binding unto thee, and all that despise thee shall bow themselves down at thy soles of thy feet, and they shall call thee the city of the Lord, the Zion of the Holy One of Israel.
Now when he says Zion, he's talking about Israel. This country here.
Verse 8.
Yeah.
Wherefore,
Quote it and read it.
the song of the three holy children. Verse 8. Wherefore, all that thou hast brought upon us, and everything that thou hast done to us, thou hast done in true judgment. And thou didst deliver us into the hands of lawless enemies.
Of who?
Lawless enemies.
These are lawless enemies that took us into captivity. They didn't come over there with flowers saying, hey, you sign this, I give you everything. You just follow me and get on the ship. No, they just took us, right? Lawless enemies, kidnappers.
Most hateful forsakers of the Most High.
When we came over here, they beat us down, right? Right?
Of the Most High. And to an unjust king, and the most wicked in all the world.
What?
Wicked in all the world.
Most wicked in all the world. That's what the scriptures say. That's the kingdom that we're going to go into. Read that again. I'll put some fire on it, because that's a beautiful scripture.
And thou didst deliver us into the hands of lawless enemies, most hateful forsakers of the Most High, and to an unjust king, and the most wicked in all the world.
Right, so this is where we're living today. America is a wicked place, but people call us a great place. They dreaming. The scriptures tell you when you wake up, look at this, you know, we're all dreaming because we're not waking up to the Bible, what the Most High is calling this place. Most High calls it wicked because they don't follow the laws of the Most High. They are poor, they hate the Most High's Bible. All right? They teach it for their own vain glory. They make money off of the Bible. All right? Get that? This is when we go back to Israel. Check this out.
Isaiah 62 verse 4. Thou shalt no more be tormented, forsaken, neither shall thy land anymore.
Right, so you look at the land of Israel, like we said, it's desolate, it's tormented, forsaken. That means nothing to grow there. Come on.
Shall thy land anymore be tormented, desolate, but thou shalt be called Hezbollah.
Hezbollah means beautiful. Go ahead. That's what it's going to be called when we go there. Come on.
In thy land, Bala. For the Lord delighteth in thee, and thy land shall be married.
So when we go back, the Most High says the land is going to be married with us. Come on.
For as a young man marrieth a virgin, so shall the son marry thee. And as the bridegroom rejoiceth over the bride, so shall the Most High rejoice over thee.
All right, so the Most High is going to take pleasure in putting us back in the land of Israel. And everything's going to flourish. The Sahara Desert, right? We fled from Jerusalem into the Sahara Desert and made our way into West Africa. That's how we got there. During 70 AD, the Roman persecution. General Vespasian and his son, Titus, they came and destroyed us in Jerusalem. That was the real Holocaust, 70 AD. When we fled into Africa, because Christ said to flee into the mountains, right? In Matthew 24, he says, when you see all these people, give me that, actually, Luke 21 and 24. Luke 21, 24. He says, when they come into the land, head into the mountains. The only mountains over there is in Africa. Okay, so when they fled into the area of the Sahara Desert, which back then they called it Libya, Mauritania, all those countries over there, Ghana, Niger, all those countries. The Sahara Desert wasn't a desert back then. It was lush. All right, you had plants, you had vegetation, you had animals, you had ostriches, you had all that there, right? But as time went on, the people started moving out of that land and started to suck up, dry up, become a desolate place. And that's why it's like that. It's just like Arizona. Arizona wasn't always like that, all right? But when you got trees in the land, bro, you got moisture in the air. Trees produce moisture at night. These trees, they sweat, okay? So when they sweat, they open up and go into the atmosphere, which causes it also to rain. And so that's why you look at the jungle, it's always raining. You notice that? Tropical forest, always raining. But in the desert, it never rains, right? Just because there's no vegetation. And so the Most High did that to our land in Israel. There's no vegetation over there, so it never rains. Did the same thing. He gave us examples in the Sahara Desert, and he did it again in Arizona. All right, so that's why he said in this chapter, Isaiah 62 and 4, when we go back, we'll be married with it, and it'll start producing, okay? And so that's why we come out. You got any other questions? Huh?
I catch you guys out here again, you know what I'm saying? I mean, you guys are obviously, you know, we how could you say, we circling in the same circle. We just
Speak up a little loud, bro.
We circling on the same circle.
Oh, okay.
We're on a parallel path. You obviously Christian.
We're the real Christians. The Israelites are the real Christians.
Christian or whatever.
We're not this Roman Christian that they got out now. All these churches, Romanized Christians.
Okay.
We're the real Israelite Christians.
Are we a religion?
Not a religion.
Okay.
We're a family.
Your
Right?
family.
The 12 tribes of Israel was a family, right?
All right.
When they started multiplying, they became nations. Let me show you a couple more things real quick. Deuteronomy 4 and 5. Let me show you what the Most High gave us. He didn't give us any religions when we was in the land of the wilderness.
Okay, then.
What was you getting? Acts 11:26. Acts 11:26. Let me show you who was called Christians first, and then let me show you what the Most High, what He gave us. Okay? You got it? Acts 11 and and 26.
Acts 11, verse 26. And when he had found him, he brought him unto Antioch. And it came to pass that the whole year they assembled themselves with the church.
Right?
And
so we're a church. The church is a people first. Come on.
And taught much people. And the disciples were called Christians.
The disciples were Israelites. You know that, right? They all came from the tribes of Israel. So the disciples were called what?
Was called Christians first in Antioch.
So they were called Christians first in Antioch. Show me one disciple. Give me John 1:45. Let's find out one disciple, what he was. What Christ even called him. You got that on?
Yeah.
4 and 5. Read that.
Deuteronomy chapter 4, verse 5. Behold, I have taught you statutes and judgments, even as the Lord my God commanded me, that ye shall do so in the land whither ye go to possess it.
Right, so he showed us what? Did he show us Christianity? Did he show us any religion? Did he show us Islam? Did he show us any of that? The Most High said he showed us statutes and commandments. Okay? Just like we read in Matthew 5 and 17, he says, I come not to destroy the law, but to fulfill. So we keep the laws that our forefathers kept. If we don't keep the laws that our forefathers kept, we'll stay in the same position. We'll continue to be the poor in our neighborhoods. We'll continue to be used, experiments, guinea pigs, as long as we live. But as soon as we start coming out of the commandments, as soon as we start keeping the commandments, things will change. You got that? John 1:45? Right there.
Okay. This is John 1, verse 47. Whom you call Jesus. Jesus saw Nathanael coming to him and say of him,
Nathanael was a disciple. Come on.
Behold, an Israelite.
What did he call him?
Behold, an Israelite.
Christ called this man an Israelite. Come on.
Indeed, in whom is no guile.
He didn't say, indeed, a Christian. Christ, out of his own mouth, called this man, Nathanael, a disciple, an Israelite. Read that again. Huh?
Jesus saw Nathanael coming to him and said of him, Behold, an Israelite. Indeed, in whom it is no guile.
There's no guile. This man kept the laws. Like this brother just read. Statutes and commandments. So that's what we got to do. But we don't run around calling ourselves Christians. That was really a derogatory name that we received when we was in Rome, when you look it up.
That's like calling somebody nigga.
If we were calling ourselves Israelites, they were killing us, man. We were calling ourselves followers of the name of Yahushua. They was killing us. So we called ourselves the anointed ones. Just for safety reasons. We were underground. Called ourselves Christians. But originally, we always called ourselves Israelites. Give me Romans 10 and 1. Look what Paul said. Everybody say, Paul this, Paul that. Let's find out Paul called himself a Christian. Okay? And give me Romans 11 and 1.
This is 10, verse 1. Romans 10, verse 1. Brethren, my heart and desire and my prayer to the Most High for Israel is that they might be saved.
For who?
That they might be saved.
For Israel, that they might be saved. Come on.
For I bear them record that they have a zeal of the Most High.
Look at all these churches in Oakland and San Francisco. They got a zeal. Our people love God. But not according to
knowledge.
Not according to knowledge. That's the only problem with our people. If they keep the knowledge, because you can ask the wickedest black man in Oakland, do you believe in God? They'll say, yeah. You're like, what are you? They say, I'm a Christian. But it's not according to knowledge. The knowledge is keeping the commandments. Okay? So that's why people say call themselves Christian stuff. Yeah, but do you practice what God taught? Do you keep his laws, statutes, and commandments? You know what I mean? Go ahead.
For I bear them record that they have a zeal of the Most High.
People have zeal for, look at the Latinos. They put Christos Christos on the back of their car. White Jesus Christ's. They put it all, they tattoo it on their belly. But do they keep the laws of the Most High? They all say they believe in God. But do they keep the laws? That's the difference. That's why he said, not according to knowledge do they know me. They know God according to what the TV has taught them. Right. You got, what's that show they got on TV, Pastors of LA? They going around putting tattoos on themselves. When the scriptures tell you not to carve up the Most High's body, this is a temple. He calls this the temple. You got to ask for permission to do any of that. Now, if you ask the Most High for permission, what do you think he'll say? I guarantee you he ain't going to answer me. I guarantee you. Mary got tattoos. They don't know God, according to knowledge. That's why he said, my people are destroyed for a lack of knowledge. Okay, come on.
For being ignorant of the Most High's righteousness, in going about to establish their own righteousness.
All right, that's what Creflo Dollar does. Establishes his own righteousness. T.D. Jakes establishes his own righteousness. They are the most spiritual people you can find on the planet. You know what I mean? But the scripture says that the spiritual man is a madman in Hosea chapter 2. He said the spiritual man is a madman, and he talks about everything else. Both sides talks bad about it. What?
For they being ignorant of the Most High righteousness, and going about to establish their own righteousness, have not submitted themselves unto righteousness of the Most High.
This is the word of the Lord of hosts. I took you from the pastures and from following the sheep to be prince over my people Israel. I have been with you wherever you have gone and have destroyed all the enemies in your path. I will make you a great name among the great ones of the earth. I will assign a place for my people in Israel. There I will plant them, and they shall dwell in their own land.